This week on the Big Story podcast, a U.S. city in the grip of the opioid crisis.
The fentanyl is like daily, every single day, multiple times a day. Last summer, we had, I think our record was 36 ODs in 48 hours.
Paramedics responding to overdose calls 24/7.
We administer the Narcan, we assist their breathing, and then it usually takes about 2 minutes before the Narcan really kicks in.
Decriminalization of drugs accelerating the epidemic.
I stopped working, I stopped paying my bills because all I wanted to do was spend money on drugs, right? And like have fun and party.
Dead end. Next on the Big Story podcast. Hi, I'm Joe Zarinko, a producer here at Big Story. The current opioid epidemic is one of the worst public health disasters in U.S. history. The Centers for Disease Control says the number of yearly overdose deaths has reached the highest level ever recorded. Fentanyl is the drug responsible for most overdoses, and it's been ravaging communities across the nation. One of those is the city of Portland, Oregon. Things got even worse for Portland in 2020 after voters approved the passage of Measure 110. It decriminalized the possession of drugs in the belief that addiction would be better served by expanded treatment rather than imprisonment. Correspondent Jason Motlow traveled to Portland to observe this national experiment in drug legalization. What he found was a stunned community trying to make sense of the demise of their city. This week's Big Story podcast is called Dead End.
It's just past 10 in the morning when the first emergency call comes in. Another overdose. First responders are battling a drug epidemic with no end in sight.
Hey, bud. Hey, wake up for us.
Portland, Oregon has been an epicenter of the U.S. opioid crisis. In 2023, overdose deaths in the U.S. topped 112,000 in 12 months. That's more lives lost than in the wars of Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Justin DeJesus is a paramedic for a quick response unit in Portland. They help relieve the overworked fire and rescue teams.
Is he breathing? No. Why don't you get some oxygen? Is he back? What happens is when you come upon someone who's actually overdosed and stopped breathing, they look like they're dead because essentially they're dying. They'll be pale, blue in their lips, tongue sticking out, whatever. We administer the Narcan, we assist their breathing to bring them back. Their color usually comes back when we assist the breathing. Their pulse comes back up, and then it usually takes about 2 minutes before the Narcan really kicks in.
Narcan is a medication that helps reverse an overdose to help the victim regain consciousness. Usually, the drug responsible is fentanyl.
Is it ready to wake up? Give him a little rub. Give him a little rub, Lindsay.
Hi, bud. Hi. Hey. Just sit there for a sec.
The fentanyl is so much more powerful than the heroin, and it's so much more prevalent, and it's a lot cheaper. At its cheapest, it was 50 cents a dose. But the problem is you only get high for 40 minutes. So we've run into people who smoke fentanyl 30 times a day just to keep that high going. Actually, if someone overdoses and dies, they tend to seek out that dealer because they know that, as in their words, it's the good stuff, you know. They want that. And they'll in their mind, what they'll do is they'll just do a little less so they won't die. But of course, since, like I said, there's no standardization, like you could be getting fentanyl that has a fentanyl pill that has nothing in it, or it can have 10,000 times the standard therapeutic dose. So you never know what you're gonna get. So you smoke the one, nothing might happen, you smoke it, or you just drop dead.
David Fredericks works for the fire and rescue team at Portland Station 1. He is one of the paramedics who's been overburdened and working around the clock.
The fentanyl is like daily, every single day, multiple times a day. Last summer, we had, I think our record was 36 ODs in 48 hours.
He says the passage of Measure 110 to legalize drugs made the situation even more of a nightmare.
Gave drug dealers carte blanche to do whatever they wanted to do, and users could use wherever they wanted, and nobody was stopping them, and it drove people out of downtown Portland. We've had businesses leave, we've had tourism suffer. The level of violence downtown last year was terrible. I mean, and you know, that combined with poor morale in the police department and low numbers on that side of things just let the drug problem take off.
David's colleague at Portland Fire and Rescue, spokesman Rick Graves, agrees.
And so we have this constant supply of drugs coming in, this open-air drug market being used, and people are just falling out on the street all over the place, and there were tents and lean-tos and whatnot of people just in various stages of using these hard drugs. So it was like a perfect storm that brought us from this really vibrant, amazing city, amazing downtown that had so many cool offerings to being completely changed in the matter of 3 years.
Jessie Burke runs a business downtown. She's the owner of the Society Hotel. She's also the chair of the Old Town Community Association.
I don't think I ever thought I would witness the things that I've witnessed now. We've had more people die of overdoses every year than ever died from the pandemic. Last year we had 600 people die, the year before 500. Like, it's progressively increasing. And I mean, if you just sit outside of the hotel, which I do, I make elected officials sit outside because I don't think people understand what's happening. In comparison to 2019, we're about 30 to 40% down from before. This location is losing about $30,000 a month. So for this group of tourists, that the reputation is the hardest thing, but it's also for the staff that I have. They're young and predominantly women, and it's hard down here. You have to be tough as nails to work down here. I mean, we talk about feeling most days like you're entering a war zone. I mean, last week, someone was high on meth with a machete, and my front desk manager went out. She wasn't working, she just stopped by, and she had her 3-year-old, and he was like, I'm gonna chop that little girl up. And our security came, the police, they went after him. They only got the machete, and he ran on a city bus and got away.
Jessie is running for a seat on the County Board of Commissions to clean up the streets.
And you need an urgency. And I just see how much is lost on people. Like, seeing how surprised people are when they come down here concerns me. Like, that's how removed people are. It is inappropriate to allow people high on meth or fentanyl to just freely roam the streets. It doesn't need to be jail, but we used to have something called the Cheers van, where the drug of choice was alcohol. And if you were passed out or drunk, they would pick you up and you would go to the drunk tank and sober up. It has to be built a little differently because the drugs are different. But the fact that people get to walk the streets high and aggressive on meth and have a machete is unacceptable. The fact that people are passed out and generally unconscious high on fentanyl, that's who's generally getting physically and sexually assaulted. Like, they need it for their own safety, and they just don't know it. the frequency with which we see unpredictable behavior, it's too much, and we have to keep the doors locked all the time.
Ebony Brawley is one of those who engaged in unpredictable behavior as a result of drug use. A hard-working single mother, she slipped into meth addiction in Portland.
Addicts are just hurt people, right? Like, we're hurt in some way, somehow, but it's big. It's not a little cut, it's not a little boo-boo, it's a big, dark hole in your body, and it consumes you. I was a dancer, and I also worked at like a warehouse, and I also worked at Flat Pantry. So I had 3 incomes by myself when I started using. But once I started using, I became like an instant addict. I stopped working. I stopped paying my bills because all I wanted to do was spend money on drugs, right? And like have fun and party.
Before long, Ebony was evicted from her home. She says the legalization of drugs in Portland made her own drug problem intensify.
And then we're like staying in hotels and stuff. And it was horrible because that was right when COVID started to happen. And then like Measure 110 was already passed. So then at that point, like I knew that it was okay to like use in public. So instead of having a place, because I used to have my own place to use and hide and do whatever, right? But now like I'm out on the streets, so it's like, it's okay if I use, it's totally fine. And that's what kind of sent it over the edge even more, is because there were no boundaries. I would get pulled over by the police and like I'd have drugs on me and they would just like give it back, you know? So after that, I felt unstoppable. I was like, well, like nobody can stop me. What I'm doing, like everything I'm doing is like totally fine. There's no consequences. And I went like super down, like stealing cars, breaking into people's property, you know, just doing stuff that like I never believed I would do. I was leaving my daughter places for like weeks, you know, like, oh, I'll be back, because I just wanted her to have a safe place to stay and like avoid CPS. But I neglected her way too many times to count, with way too many different people.
Sean Smeeden is a recovering addict who just got out of rehab. He moved into a shelter created by Portland as an alternative to living on the street. It contains 140 pods, tiny homes that provide heat, air conditioning, a shared shower, bathroom and kitchenette, and food service.
Fentanyl and opiates ruined my life way before I even started doing them. Like, I lost my mom, my uncle, and my grandma in a 1.5 year period to drugs. The first 4 days I was here from detox, I was up nonstop because my brain just wouldn't shut down. 8 hours stretches in my pod just staring at the ceiling. But I finally eventually went to sleep, and I've been, like, day by day, gradually getting better. I saw that they got dishwashing positions. I love washing dishes. It's a fun job, you know, and I need money. So I'm gonna go there, try to talk to them about getting a job, and then I'm gonna look into that Intel thing, the paid training program with Intel. When it comes to doing stuff that's important, it takes small steps and patience to get to where you're going to do it right. I'm going through it, but that's okay because I feel alive, and that's a part of being alive, is suffering, feeling good, going through it. You know, it's part of the whole range of emotions. And it just, suffering or not, it feels good to be alive. It feels good to feel.
A month after this interview, Sean was shot and killed on a train platform in northern Portland. Bruce is another fentanyl addict in Portland. When Jason met him, he was on the verge of entering detox again.
It's been something that I've been struggling with since, you know, I was a teenager, and I'm 34 now, and I've been to treatment more than a handful of times, and, you know, with these new drugs that are around now, like, and with all the deaths, and It's not how it used to be.
Just consumes your life.
It does, yeah, and like you feel sick faster. It's every hour, it's throughout the whole day, the night, and you see people that you would never even guess would be users, and now, within a couple of days, months, they're homeless, they're out here, they've lost everything, families, cars, houses, careers, it's just taken over. I don't want to be judged for, having this problem that is controlling, every decision I make, and I want to be a decent human being again. Be accountable, be trustworthy, and I want to be a good son, to my mom and my dad, and make them proud, because I've done the complete opposite of that, and it's brought a lot of guilt and shame. I think that if I want to have a life out of the prison system, a life out of being homeless, have relationships that aren't, backstabbing and lies, and I think that if I don't get my shit together, I'm gonna lose everything for good.
Helping Bruce get on the road to recovery is Rico Mejia, a peer support specialist at Portland's Behavioral Health Resource Center.
So you're gonna stay with us then?
Yes.
Sweet. All right then. And then we'll leave the center at 3.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes.
All right, cool.
I'm proud of you.
A former addict, Rico now dedicates himself to helping others.
I volunteered. I got to be part of the community, go from being a hazard to an asset in the community, and get engaged in employment opportunities. So I believe if people get an all-star team around them and they're set up, with a plan for success and support, that anything's possible.
You're not in trouble with the law, it's so hard to get into treatment. We're trying to do something to change that, man.
Rico helps Bruce check into the center and get cleaned up before driving him to the detox facility across town.
Is that Bruce there?
That's me.
I've been waiting for you, Mr. Bruce. Okay, so you're in machine number 1, sir.
Number 1, okay. Thank you. The treatment center that I'm going to today, the detox I'm going to today, I haven't been there, but everybody is telling me it's a great place. It's nice. They set you up with a plan for afterwards.
Rico shows Bruce to the laundry room. Then he gives him a clipper so Bruce can cut his hair.
I believe attitude dictates altitude. Not only do we have a good attitude about this, and the community partner that's waiting for him, he's got a good attitude, right? He's saying please and thank you upstairs. He's cleaning up after getting a haircut, cutting his hair. He's jazzed. He wants to have clean laundry and, be showered to go in, so he's feeling good about himself. And then when he comes out, he has clean clothes.
Bruce, however, begins to become anxious.
I'm really nervous, going from, having that crutch, using that crutch every day to feel better, and then just taking that away is it's an adjustment. I was already overwhelmed, but now it's really happening, and got the heartbeat going, got the sweaty palms, I'm antsy, and I just gotta stay focused and take deep breaths.
Before making the trip with Rico to the detox facility, Bruce says he has some final errands he needs to take care of. He promises to come back and meet Rico in front of the building in a few hours. Rico stands on the street outside to meet up with Bruce. He waits and waits. But Bruce never shows. It's a definite disappointment, but Rico says he'll be there for Bruce when he's ready to take the next step.
I call it the reality of the disease. We can have our greatest plan set out for us, the greatest support system set out for us, and then it's not him, right? It's the lifestyle and the disease of addiction making choices for him.
I was in detox and treatment about 15 times. It's important not to give up on people because every life's worth it, right? Every person deserves a chance and an opportunity to change.
Paramedic David Fredericks reflects on what he's seen.
Definitely makes you question where society's going, what the long-term weight of this whole situation is, because it's not the sign of a healthy society. Having people that are down and out and willing to do this to themselves, they don't do it by choice. They turn to drugs because there's something very, very wrong with their being.
Sophie Nathanson, a sociologist at the Oregon Institute of Technology, gives her take.
If you're doing drugs, you might have addiction, you might be caught in that cycle where you absolutely cannot stop even if you want to. But it's not a moral failing, it's actually a coping mechanism that can facilitate social connection. It can make you feel a sense of belonging, and it's also potentially an available way to help you address those emotional and physical issues that are causing you a lot of pain. We all need connection, and it's a human need. It's not something that's nice to have on top of our physical needs and our material needs being met. It's something that is biological. Back in cavemen times, if we were exiled, if we didn't belong, if we were shut out, we were gonna die. So from that evolutionary biology perspective, we don't belong. If we're disconnected, we might feel like we're gonna die. That might really have that strong body reaction.
3 years after Measure 110 was passed with overwhelming public support, a heavy majority of Oregon's legislature struck it down. Now, anyone caught with a small amount of drugs like fentanyl could technically face jail time. The shift has had an effect on downtown Portland, where crime and overdoses have both decreased. And that's it for this edition of the Big Story Podcast. Special thanks to our colleagues Caleb Lopez and Felipe Lozano Puche here in our CGTN America studios. If you want to check out the full-length documentary of Dead End, we'll drop the links in the show's notes, or you can just go to CGTN Now on Apple TV. Thanks for listening.